Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita. Hope you all are having a wonderful morning. And all I can say is, this is a short segment, spontaneous and thought provoking. And the guests that I will be talking to are just very inspiring. और आप हमारे साथ बने रहिए. And today, what can I say about the guest today? She's a Padma Shri Award winner. जीरो वेस्ट हाउस होल्ड में रहती हैं. शी इज कॉल्ड एज द सोलर नानी. And I know, and the best thing I liked about her life journey is she's truly living with gratitude for nature. She's a social worker, she's an environmentalist. और मैं ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बोलूंगी, बस आपको उनसे मिलवाऊंगी. उनका नाम है जनक पल्टा मकेलिगन. एंड जनक जी, thank you so much for joining me on Off the Cuff.
नमस्ते.
नमस्ते जनक जी. So just tell me कि ये जो आपने ये शुरुआत की है, living with so much thankfulness for nature, पूरी ये आप मिसाल बन के रह गई हैं आपकी जिंदगी. उसके बारे में बताइए, ये कैसे हुआ, कैसे शुरू किया?
Now I'm 74 years old.
Okay.
I was born in Jalandhar, brought up in mostly brought up in Chandigarh, and I just finished my school in 1963. This was 1964, and one day I just became unconscious, and I was taken to the biggest hospital of Chandigarh called PGI, and I was taken there, and the doctor said that she needs an open heart surgery, and we have still not been able to start an open heart surgery successfully. So they admitted me, and they said it looks like that she had this birth defect of ventricle septal defect, but she is diagnosed too late. So she doesn't have probably more than 6 months life. And I was hospitalized, and it was about 9 months they gave me some medication, but I was not that miserable. There was nothing like heart attacks or something like that, but they kept me hospitalized for 9 months. Towards the end of 9 months, some of our neighbors, elderly man who was like my grandfather, and his niece was the Union Health Minister. So he went to her and he said, "This is like my granddaughter, and she's such a nice girl. She has a good future, and her life is very uncertain, and what is going to happen to her?" So the Union Health Minister conducted an inquiry about why I was there for 9 months and what's wrong. So they could find out that nobody knew how to give an anesthesia for 14 hours of that surgery. So she managed to get an anesthetist from Canada, Indian Dr. Bhattacharya, and he gave me anesthesia, and he also trained all the anesthetists of the hospital. And I survived. All my blood was transfused, and 18 bottles of blood. And actually, practically, I was always feeling closer to death and closer to God every time, thinking about. But I was not so negative or something. But so I think I was regaining consciousness after the surgery when the assistant surgeon of that surgeon, he tapped my hand and said, "Janak, open your eyes. You have made the history. Your surgery is successful." And before I opened my eyes, I said to God, "You have given me new life. I will spend it thanking you." So that's my gratitude story of getting operated, and the first successful open heart surgery of India.
Wow.
And my first service to express my gratitude. So it took me 3 months more in the hospital, and I came okay. But just as I was discharged and I came home, So I had to go to hospital every day in the local bus to go and sit in the cardiac OPD.
Oh, okay.
So that the other people who need the surgery, they could see a successful surgery example. So I was the showpiece example. So for about 6 months, I had to do this. That much my gratitude to the doctors and the hospital and the other people, thanking God by doing this. And I came out of the hospital in 1965. I remember my surgeon was a Christian and he celebrated Christmas with me, and all the other doctors celebrated Diwali with me in the hospital. So I came back, and suddenly in a bus I met some people who were visually challenged, blind people, and he told me that he is looking for a reader and a writer volunteer. So I became a part of serving the blind. And my parents were very nice to me. I was the eldest surviving of my 4 other siblings. So they were very nice to me, and they wanted me to be always happy and let me do whatever I wanted to do. So I started doing this service. Then I started helping the children from the neighborhood to come and study and help them. I never went to college after that, or nor I went to university. But I always, there was a provision in India that the girls could appear privately. So I could appear privately, and I kept on getting through. And I went to all the religious missions, including the 4 major pilgrimage of Badrinath, Kedarnath, Hemkund Sahib, Gangotri, Yamunotri. My parents were too good, and I was also in a job of a researcher all over the India. I used to travel, but everywhere I used to go and look for a place where I could actually do full-time seva service. By that time, I had done my bachelor's, I did my master's in English, I did my master's in political science, I did a course in translation, and I did Sangeet Visharad in Sitar. For that, I took lessons from the music academy. But I was doing always something. Finally, I investigated a lot, and I found Baha'i faith, and I accepted Baha'i faith by my choice. So one thing I want to say to the people, that when we give gratitude to God, He takes care of everything. And all my life, all the choices I have made, except God, nobody could change my choice. My parents, my family, my relatives, everybody was just encouraging, appreciating. The amount of love I got from everywhere was very rewarding. So as a Baha'i, I was traveling all over the country in various projects. I worked for India-Pak border, Punjab, Pakistan border development. I was a researcher. I had taught in a college in Punjab, in Jagrao. And after that, I wrote to with research, I was not very happy. I was thinking that they are asking us to do research, but the results of the research were used for their own political or other purposes, whatever the government people wanted to do. So I prayed and I asked God to give me this opportunity, and I got. I wrote to my National Assembly of Baha'is, and I'm sure you must be knowing, or many people know, the Lotus Temple in India.
Yes,
Baha'i temple is famous. So I used to pray a lot there also. It came later, but Then one day I was asked to come and start an institute for rural and tribal girls who had never gone to school. So I started working. By that time, I had to leave home. My parents, it was hard for them to accept the fact that I am not getting married and I am more like a,
wandering around.
yeah, I am wondering, but they were very happy with my life. I never did anything which could annoy them.
Okay.
I was always blessed. Whatever I wanted to do, except the religion, to come to Indore and start the work. So they were they wanted to see me happy. So I got all my brothers sisters got married, and there were 8 children of them, my nephew and nieces. My work when I started here, I came across Jimmy McGilligan, who came from Northern Ireland. He was also a Baha'i. He didn't want to go back. He wanted to serve. He came as a volunteer. So both of us got married with the blessings of our parents in Chandigarh. And he and I made a good team. He was a mountaineer. He was a land reclamation and drainage contractor. So he was very frustrated that he made all the bog lands of Northern Ireland green for cows and farmers. But one stage came, he felt that we are having surplus, we are making beef mountains, and we are dumping milk in the sea. So he also wanted to do something which gives him satisfaction, contentment, and happiness, and not wasting his life. So it was, I think, it was God's blessing that he came and we got married, and he and I both decided not to have our children because I had already started the institute and it was 3 years old, and we both developed a campus which was 6 acres of land, residential campus, and it was the first Central India's solar kitchen he built. He made this campus to be growing organically and zero waste and sustainable development. I was also invited to first Earth Summit where I got the biggest motivation to become an environmental friendly person. I had worked as a volunteer to eradicate guinea worms in 302 villages of a tribal district. I lived in tribal homes for 302 homes in 302 villages. Every night there was no toilet, there was no electricity, there was no water, there was no toilet, and I used to sleep with the cow and the chickens and goats, and but the people very nice. So I saw the natural life of people. It was a huge learning of my life to learn how people are happy and they are not polluting, but they had done a lot of deforestation. Women were cooking on fire, chula. So I was very upset. So Jimmy and I thought women are cooking in smoky kitchens. So we went into solar cookers and facilitate the process where tribal women could get solar cookers in their home. But to our surprise, uh, first thing we did was giving them training so that they know how to use it and value it. And their parents, even if they were poor, we were giving them free training, but they had to 6 months training. We were giving them in literacy, health, education, and cutting and tailoring, and they could appear in open school exam, illiterate girls. But they became also big environmentalists and motivated social change agents. And they went back and they developed great service in their communities. I have a book on Amazon, or its name is Burley Development Institute for Rural Women. It was given Distinguished Scholarly Book Award in Montreal. I was invited. Based on my PhD, how the tribal women changed their own 500 villages.
Wow.
Girls. And then after 12 years of them having solar cookers, first thing they told us, their dignity is saved.
Oh, dignity.
Maximum number of rapes and sexual abuse was done because the forests were far away and they have to carry wood two
Very.
days and 3 days. And the forest people and the other people, young girls, women going to catch the bring the wood, and the girls in their homes were cooking and they were not going to school. So these women also told us that hamari izzat bach gayi. So the cooker was very safe. Second thing they said, when they were carrying big load of wood on their head, they could get miscarriage of the
okay. Yes.
pregnancy. And they also said the children used to get burned in their hands when they were cooking in smoke. So Jimmy and I thought cooking in smoky kitchens is violence against women. So we became serious, and the women started earning money. They started using cookers for tea stall, making some. So they were no more laborers and subject to abuse. So no more pollution. They could take. There are a lot of papers on that subject. Google and YouTube channel.
Yes.
There are people who could. These women could reduce the number of children suffering from waterborne diseases in the villages. In the tribal area, it was very common. So when I went to Earth Summit to receive award Global 500 Roll of Honor by UNEP on World Environment Day in 1992, I came back with my commitment that I should never do anything which will harm the environment. I must express my gratitude that we still have some air and we still, but we didn't have enough at 92 also. Punjab had already cancer train running, and I also got cancer at 2007. I'm also a cancer, 4 surgeries of cancer. So I also started, I'm a trained counselor for breast cancer women, and I still do it on even on Zoom during the COVID period. So I have been expressing my gratitude in many different ways. One is that planting more and more trees. Each Rakhi Raksha Bandhan, I would only plant trees. I don't need saris and suits. So it has become I don't know how many thousand trees I have planted in last 36 years in Indore and the mountains around it, small hilltops and the area farms. And every year I plant saplings number equal to my age. This year I was 74, so I planted 74.
Wow.
But before 74, I go back and see 73. 73 on.
Oh, yes.
And if one is died, then I go and replace them. So my life is love for nature, and I love sun. I love, people say Surya Namaskar, but I tell them, let us do Surya Chamatkar. I use solar energy. My gas cylinder is used after 2 years and 5 months. One small gas cylinder, because I cook on solar. I have my own solar and wind power. I share free solar and wind power with 50 tribal families in my neighborhood. So I grow my own food. I have a cow and her family. I have a dog. So I have one of my students and her family who are, we are staying together, and they help me in physical work. So I don't go shopping. I only buy salt, sugar, tea leaves, and cooking oil. Never go for shopping. All the waste, plastic packaging comes with shopping. I'm off shopping. I have no trash bin in my house. I use a small steel glass.
Yes, मुझे याद है.
I carry a steel bottle with me, and I carry a handkerchief with me. Because I don't use bottled water, and I have been the brand ambassador example of making Indore the cleanest city of India. By doing this, many people, I have trained more than 1 lakh students from 100,000 students from colleges, universities, and farmers, free of cost. My house is eco-friendly house. I am very happy. I have my own energy, and if somebody says, "What do you do? Zero waste." First thing I said, zero waste of my life. I have not wasted my life. I
Wow.
don't waste time. I don't waste food. I don't waste water. I start using one steel glass water in the morning. Whole day, if I take 10 times, I put a cover of a katori on it. I drink with the same glass. So I save water 10 times. And the person who has to clean it. So time, energy of the person who has to wash it, clean it, and water. Because India, we have actually practically no water. I also have a recharging pond. People have gone 600 feet down, but I'm still on 250 feet down because I recharge rainwater harvesting from my roof and everywhere, so the water can retain longer. So I don't use any chemicals. I clean my teeth with Vajjanti, neem, and all that. And I have no plastic. I use aloe vera as my bath gel, hand wash, my shampoo, and I use hibiscus for my uh, hair conditioner. And I use no chemicals in my house. These carpets in my house are washed with aretha.
Yes,
Aretha is a soap tree.
Soap tree, yes.
So I'm able to do this, and I'm very happy that I can always be grateful to God. He's made me a human being, and these days, World Environment Day theme is only one Earth.
Yes.
And I say we have only one life, only one life. So I'm closing with a message. We don't have a choice how we will die, but the only choice we have is how to live and to live well and to live with gratitude to God that I am a human being and I have been given the power of rationale and I have a soul. It guides me. It takes me to gratitude to God and the people, Mother Earth and the sun and the air and the soil.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Janak ji, I am speechless. I don't know, आपने जो अपना ये बताया है, there's so much to learn from your life. And even if we can make a small change in our lives, because we live in a country that has surplus of everything, and it's more about buy, because the economy has to run on certain way. So I will say, look at Jarakji, get be a little minimalistic. थोड़ा सा अगर आप कम कर सकते हो अपनी जिंदगी में कुछ चीजें, उससे भी बहुत फर्क पड़ेगा. ये
मैं एक रुमाल यूज करती हूँ.
हाँ जी.
I use a handkerchief so that I don't have to. I never use paper napkin, tissue paper, or toilet paper. So
I know.
And the events, birthday, party, marriage. Even now, the people are doing the marriages without creating waste.
Oh, wow. And, there's so much to learn, about you. So I will urge all the listeners to just Google her name, Janak Palta McGilligan, and you will find everything on her. All I have to say is thank you, Janak ji, for coming on Off the Cuff. पर ये हम bolly channel पे हैं, तो बस मैं एक.
I remember two songs.
हाँ जी.
One is ये जिंदगी उसी की है जो किसी का हो गया प्यार ही में खो गया.
Such beautiful voice you have, जनक जी. क्या बात है. और आपकी जिंदगी एक मिसाल बन गई है. Like you said, zero waste life. You don't waste your life. And इसी के साथ good cheer and much love. Thank you, Janak ji, for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
मालूम नहीं क्या सच है, मालूम नहीं क्या सच है, मगर ज़िंदगी को देने के लिए अभी बहुत कुछ है. Namaste. This is Navleen Jaggi, born and brought up in India and living in the Bay Area from past 20 years. I'm a software engineer by profession. I left my job to follow my passion and my dream. I had a dream to bring India here in the Bay Area. भारत की मिट्टी की खुशबू और जायकों को नए अंदाज में पेश करने के लिए मैंने अपना रेस्टोरेंट खोला यहाँ पे called Shosha. Shosha means to show off. I want to show off the creativity and vastness of flavors that India has to offer. We are located in the heart of Silicon Valley, downtown Sunnyvale. We specialize in corporate events, catering, be it weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries, indoors as well as outdoors. I'm inviting you all with your families, friends and colleagues to check us out at downtown Sunnyvale, 141 South Murphy Avenue. For reservations, please call 510-378-3775. I'm honored and blessed to be a grand sponsor of Off the Cuff by Namrita. We'll see you again soon here at Shosha. Namaskar.